Well, good morning. Hope this day finds everybody doing quite well. As a matter of fact, it's a great day to be alive. It is the second day of June, believe it or not, 2026. This time last year, my boy is getting ready to join the ranks of the United States Army Reserve, and he made it through it. So, hey, congratulations to him and to all the young men and women who joined the service and didn't quit, didn't give up, hung in there, and now they're back home waiting for the next duty that they have to perform. So thank you very, very much. Freedom's not free. Somebody's got to guard it. Good morning to you. The time on the clock says it is 7:07 in the morning. And hey, it's just time to rise and shine. We got some things we need to talk about today. Not a whole lot, but we do have some things that we're gonna talk about today. Today in Montgomery, we are going to find out if certain people don't have to follow the rules, and other people do follow the rules. We'll find out, as the case with our city council people this morning, this afternoon. We'll see. Is it do as I say do and don't do as I do? That's what it's beginning to look like down there. But that's okay. We will see, because effectively, since I do live in District 3 of the city, I'm not being represented, because there's nobody living in District 3 that's on the city council. But we'll see. We'll see how that all works out for us later. So if you live in District 3, you need to pay close attention to the city council meeting today. And listen, this ain't personal. This is just business. Okay? If you move outside of the city council district, the law says you can't be on city council. Act 618 it just says that. But I know that a lot of people down there on the city council already knew about this, and they did not say much of anything. And what the mayor said yesterday sort of really surprised me. For a no nonsense guy, he really surprised me yesterday. Some of the things he said about this whole situation. But anyway, good morning to you. We'll get into all that as the challenges of the day reach out to us. So y'all make sure you get up. Next thing, we got our daily bread coming up, and of course, don't forget our sponsor. Our sponsor is of today's show. Again, the views and opinions not necessarily of our sponsor. Well, no, strictly all mine. Okay. Yeah. But now, don't forget our sponsor, One Stop Wireless. One Stop Wireless. Okay, so if you need a cell phone, well, that's who you get one from right there. Then look at it, 3445 Atlanta Highway on Montgomery. Right on the corner of One Stop Wireless, located right on the corner of Coliseum Boulevard and Atlanta Highway. Can't beat them. They're really, really good folks. And you can also pay your bills there. I know you can pay your gas bill there. I don't know if you pay your light bill. No, you got to call them and see. And you say, what is their number? Well, their number is simply 320-9288. Yeah, that's what it is, 320-9288. Give them a call. They're there to help you. Okay? So good morning. It's time to rise and shine. We'll be back with our daily bread. Alrighty then. Got rid of my camera a little bit too fast on that one. So we'll come back after a word from on high. Something that will, straight, get your mind right first thing in the morning. Something that'll help you along your way. Be back.
Hands raised high in pure delight, thankful whispers in a gentle breeze, grateful heart with such sweet ease. Thank you, Lord, for every breath I take, for the love that heals and the joy you make.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Today's devotional reading, titled Just in Case Idols, was written by Mike Whitmer. Sam checks his retirement account twice each day. He saved for 30 years, and with the boost of a rising stock market, finally has enough to retire, as long as stocks don't plunge. This fear keeps Sam worrying about his balance. Jeremiah warned about this in Jeremiah chapter 11, saying, "You, Judah, have as many gods as you have towns, and the altars you've set up to burn incense to that shameful god Baal are as many as the streets of Jerusalem." Judah's idolatry is remarkable. They knew the Lord was God. How could they worship anyone else? They were hedging their bets. They needed the Lord for the afterlife because only the true God could raise them from the dead. But what about now? Pagan gods promised health, wealth, and fertility, so why not pray to them too, just in case? Can you see how Judah's idolatry is also our temptation? It's good to have talent, education, and money, but if we're not careful, we might shift our confidence to them. We know we'll need God when we die, and we'll ask Him to bless us now, but we'll also lean on these lesser gods just in case. Where is your trust? Backup idols are still idols. Thank God for His many gifts, and tell Him you're not relying on any of them. Your faith is riding entirely on Him. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Jeremiah 11, verses 9 through 13. Then the Lord said to me, "There is a conspiracy among the people of Judah and those who live in Jerusalem. They have returned to the sins of their ancestors who refused to listen to my words. They have followed other gods to serve them. Both Israel and Judah have broken the covenant I made with their ancestors. Therefore, this is what the Lord says. I will bring on them a disaster they cannot escape. Although they cry out to me, I will not listen to them. The towns of Judah and the people of Jerusalem will go and cry out to the gods to whom they burn incense, but they will not help them at all when disaster strikes. You, Judah, have as many gods as you have towns, and the altars you have set up to burn incense to that shameful god Baal are as many as the streets of Jerusalem." Let's pray. Father, as much as we want life to be sure and predictable, it's not. And while planning for the future is valuable, there is no guarantee that life will go as we plan it. Help us to trust in you alone and not rely on our own plans and abilities to control it. Thank you, Lord. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Yep, this is my grandchild's school here. They're singing in this thing. righty then. Camera back up here. Okay, there we go. There we go. Make sure we're not good at my grand challenge. But, I like hearing those guys sing in the morning. It kind of gives me hope for the future. You know what I mean? Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine.
You are still here, time to get busy living.
All right, let me see if I can get my phone thing squared away here. You know, sometimes I'll be forgetting about it.
You are still here, time to get busy living.
Okay, there we go.
Get up. You are still here, time to get busy living.
I almost said I'm going to sleep in this morning, but I changed my mind and decided just to go ahead and get up. This thing's rolling here. I love this song. Me and I wrote this song, yeah. Good job with that. Alrighty then. Okay then. Come on.
You are still here, time to get busy living. Get up. You are still here, time to get busy living.
Oh yeah. Busy living, busy living.
You are still
Okay.
here, time to get busy living.
Love that song, but now it's time to I feel you know, we like the song, but you can't listen to it all day long. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you doing well. You know, today's going to be an interesting day in Montgomery. It's going to be an interesting day because we are going to find out if our city council members follow the law or do they make exceptions. And the mayor, I'm trying to find this article that I'm going to give you a little bit of what the problem is with politics, and what he said yesterday. And I'm going to see if I can find it. I think that that was not the right thing to say. He come out better saying nothing, saying nothing about it, because we all know that somebody down there knew what was going on for these last couple of years. Somebody down there knew. There's no way in heebie-jeebies that they didn't know what was going on. And it's really not, it's not a gigantic deal about, let me turn it off. It's not a gigantic deal, but it is a deal. Either we are a nation and a city of laws, because it seems like to me, poor folks, people like me and you, regular folks, we gotta follow, what the law says. I mean, we got to do that. That's what they tell us. That's what's got to be done. So when we go in front of a court, and you say, "Well, my brother, my neighbor didn't have to. He didn't get the same punishment that you're giving me." Then I'm gonna tell you what my mama told me. Well, I caught you, not him. Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm good. So what am I talking about? What am I talking about is one of our city council people, having lived in her district for a while. And she has been representing District 3, which happens to be the district I live in. Now, I didn't used to live in District 3. I lived in District 2. In Julie Beard's district, but they came around with the gerrymandering knife, and they went up the street, back down the street, around the corner, and in the back alley, and then drew everybody in and everybody out that they didn't want to go, that they didn't want to do that. So I was drawn out of Julie Beard's district and drawn into 3. Okay, which I didn't have no problem. One side of town's pretty much the same as the other side of town most of the time. But however, now we find that the person who represents us lives in District 7. And again, this is not personal. This is not. But if you move and you know the rules, then you have to give up the seat. So today, at today's city council, um, they're going to have to determine whether or not to vacate that seat, um, or accept a, a illegitimate council person. Now, if you go down to the judge, if you get a ticket downtown, you get a ticket downtown, and you go in front of the judge is not going to worry about what happened 5 years ago with somebody else. They're gonna want to know, well, what about now? What about now? Okay, that's what they're gonna want to know. Okay. So I'm just trying to ask the question, because today we're going to find out whether or not they believe that everybody should be treated the same. Okay. And now I got a problem, because I said, well, you're supposed to have people represent you that live in your district. Marche does not live in the district. Okay. So if you don't live in the district, and here's the things I would agree. Okay, this ain't got nothing to do with Lions. Matter of fact, I didn't even know the situation he was in. Okay. Okay. So, and we couldn't tell where he had. I think he got divorced somewhere in the middle of there, and I think the judge told him to move out or something like that. But anyway, the deal is that, oh, it happens all the time. Well, give me another example where that happened in Montgomery. I mean, give me another example where the whole council knew, and that we knew that the person who represents us did not live in our district. Well, like the law says, Act 618, like it says. So who did we? I mean, who did we? Give me another example. Okay. Oh, Lord have mercy. Now I got to find the mayor's response yesterday, and it was an interesting one. It was an interesting one. One I totally didn't agree with. I totally did not agree with. But I'm going to we're going to see what he had said, and I tried to find it last night. He says, now he brought up Brantley Lions. Well, Mr. Mayor, you went into office, and most of us do. We went in office, trying to show trying to correct the past, correct things that were always being done wrong. Okay, so once we get in, however, it seems that, well, it ain't do as I do. I mean, as I do as I say do. And I just have a problem with this. I don't care who. I personally don't care who represents District 3, as long as somebody's representing District 3. And and if I don't agree with them, I'll run against them. But I'm just trying to figure out what's the, what. Let me go. Let me. I think this is the mayor's. This is the mayor's response right here. So let me see if I can get that on there. Okay, let me see. Get him on here. And I just, for some reason, I just don't believe that this is a great response. But this is me, and they got to meet this afternoon. And as a matter of fact, if anything is going to be done, then it has to be done today. Okay, then it has to be done today in order to get a special election. Okay, so let me see if I can get what the mayor's response is here. Let me see. Okay, hold it. Let me make sure I get his Get the sound up right here because this was Mr. Mayor's response, and I found it to be well, I found it to be quite interesting, as a matter of fact. Okay, let me go here. Okay, let me see. Where is Marche at? May live outside the district. I don't think that's a question anymore. Okay. Well, for some reason, it not giving me the sound that I had a few minutes ago. So we'll see if I can get that sound back in a minute. Coming back down. Well, I had to get y'all. I'm working on something right quick. I'm trying to get this. Okay, I'm trying to get this right here. Just call me back down. Just give me a few minutes before I can figure this out right quick, because this is important, and I know what you're gonna say. I pretty much know what you're gonna say. Let me see now. Again, just give me 5 minutes here. Let me see if I can get this thing working the way it should. Okay, let me see. See. Alrighty then. At least I'm supposed to get it working anyway. Okay. Oh, there's my sound right there.
Longer be living in the district she represents.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Now that I got the
With
sound.
breaking news.
All right.
Yeah, that
Let's
breaking
check
news.
this
A
out.
Montgomery City Councilwoman appears to no longer be living in the district she represents. Good evening. Welcome to WSFA 12 News at 10. I'm Simon Schiesler. It's an honor to be here with you tonight. In a search of Montgomery County property records, WSFA 12 News confirms that Councilwoman Marche Johnson purchased a home near Windsor Hill Lane in 2024. Now, Johnson has represented District 3 since 2021. The home she purchased is in District 7. WSFA 12 News confirmed that Johnson used a VA loan to purchase the home. Johnson is an Army veteran. VA loans are for primary residences, meaning that borrowers are expected to live in the properties they purchase. Based on Montgomery City Council qualifications, members, quote, must be residents of the municipality and of the ward from which they are elected, and they must remain residents of the municipality and of the ward from which they were elected throughout their term in office. We did reach out to Johnson. She tells us she has no comment.
Okay. And there was another. The mayor gave us some sort of hogwash yesterday. And I like the mayor, but come on. If it smells like doo-doo, feels like doo-doo, then it must be doo-doo. I mean, let's just cut the crap. Okay. She don't live there. She doesn't live in the district. She doesn't live in the district in which I live in, District 3. And they put me in District 3 with the last restructuring of the districts that they did. I would have left y'all alone. Y'all should have left me alone. But you brought me over there. You brought me over there in District 3. Well, the mayor did I'm looking for that doggone thing that he put out the other day. But we're going to. I'm gonna get it for you in a little bit here. Or somebody send it back to me however that works out. But anyway, now let me get my phone back on, because I know Don has got something to say, of course, as usual. Which is why we're here. We're here to let people say what they got to say. But if you're supposed to live in your district, then isn't that what you're supposed to do? It happens all the time. So when are we going to stop it from happening? Okay. I mean, they're raising. Wait. We raising hell about Tuberville, rich people have all kind of houses, and I'm pretty sure his house ain't on VA. Okay. But I'm pretty sure. But we don't want Tuberville to run. But we want to. But the representatives that are closest to the people, which is your city council, your county commission, your board of education, people that are closest to us, we said, well, yeah, but they don't have to live. They don't. Okay. I mean, I live in Channel. I live in District 3. So I'm not being represented, at least not legally, downtown, because the person who's supposed to be represents me does not live in the district. Either what's good for the goose is good for the gander. At least that's where they used to tell it to me. Yeah, Don.
What are the Negroes like Camellia and the rest of them won't bring white folks into this? Isn't this a black problem?
Well,
Did y'all not hear William Boyd yesterday going on?
yeah, I heard William going off about a couple of
Seems
things.
like a Negro problem, but y'all, every time something happens, Camellia and the rest of them somehow want to blame white folks. You know, talking about whatever his name is, living out of the district. He ain't even around anymore, is he?
Oh, no, Bradley Lyons? No, he lives someplace else.
But the Camellia and the rest of them always want to make it a white thing. I don't hear a white person give it a crap because one Negro represents Negroes like the rest of them. We don't care if you know which Negro is in that spot. But it looks like the law is to me that someone has to file something with the attorney,
Yeah.
the DA.
I don't know if it's a DA issue or an ethics commission issue.
Well, I know you don't know, but I just read it. That's why I read. You don't read.
Okay. Well, I read what I want to read.
Yeah, but why don't you just come up with crap? You know, it doesn't talk
Because
like
my,
ethics.
because my common sense is pretty
You
good.
file a complaint with the DA.
But,
If she don't,
who files it?
the law says she's supposed to immediately vacate. If she
Right.
doesn't immediately vacate, you file a complaint with the attorney, the district attorney.
Mm-hmm.
But quit making it about white folks. Like, everything they do on this show is about white folk cause it, white folk this. It's a Negro problem. Y'all didn't listen to Boyd
Well, it's not a
yesterday.
Negro problem. It's a law problem.
It is a Negro problem. White folk don't care which Negroes in that district. They go all in the same.
Okay. All right. It's got nothing to do with being Negro or not, although I will admit that they do bring it up often. It is brought up quite often. But that's not the prevailing issue here. And the prevailing issue here is whether or not the city council is going to do its duty. Okay. And I'm trying to get because the mayor now he on this response yesterday pretty much went back to Bradley Lyons also. Okay, he went back. Well, you didn't do anything. Well, I didn't live in District 3 in Bradley, when Bradley Lyons, I lived in District 2, and I didn't. And tell you the truth, I didn't really know that he wasn't living in that district either. Until he was almost out of office. But anyway, so much for that. I just thought I'd bring it up this morning because we got to stop being hypocritical, and as soon as I get this mayor's response that he gave yesterday, his response is part of the problem rather than say, you know what, if that's the law, that's the law. But the mayor says, well, we didn't try to get rid of Bradley Lyons. Well, I'm just, Bradley Lyons is not in office right now. He has been in office for a while, but that's District 2 anyway. I don't care what's going on in District 2 because y'all put me out of District 2 and brought me to District 3. So, okay, well, not a problem. So let us talk about the legality of it. Is she or is she not supposed to be vacated from that position? It's got nothing to do with her. If it was Calhoun, or if it was Szymanski, if it was any of them, Pruitt, if they moved out of their district, they no longer have the legal right or the authority to represent the district that they used to live in. You don't get to do that. You don't get to move anytime you want to and then represent somebody else's in another district. That's just what the law is. So whether it was Pruitt, whether it's Jen Wright, whether it's Calhoun, Arande, or anybody down there, if you move out of your district, you are not supposed to you can't represent people. This is just, it's clear. The law is just clear. I mean, there's no ambiguity. And if you don't understand what that word means, it means confusion. Most of us are not confused about this law. You move, you lose. This is an easy one. And so tonight at City Council, we'll find out. And the mayor, I gotta find the mayor's thing here because I'm just telling you what his response was a typical, and I like the mayor, but his response was a typical politician. I mean, I understand that she's on the team, and I got no problem with that. I'm gonna give him the same grace I gave Emery Farmer. Listen, if you're the mayor, you need as many people on your side as you can get, but you have to make sure they're legitimately there. Okay, you need people on your side, to help you put forth your agenda. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, I understand that. Okay. But I'm gonna, as soon as I find this, I'm gonna give you the mayor's, or somebody send it to me again, because I'm gonna give people what the mayor's response was yesterday. Somebody sent it to me last night, but I can't seem to find out where it is. Okay, I can't seem to find out where it is, but I got it on here someplace, and I was actually somewhat befuddled by his response. It wasn't even a neutral response. So we're going to support somebody who's actually breaking the law. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to support her. Okay, and again, it's not personal. If C.C. Calhoun moved out of his district, we wouldn't want him to be the chairman of the Montgomery City Council, or even on the City Council. Okay. So it's got nothing to do with her. We don't really care who it is. Simpler days.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
See, it's too simple. Simple in government don't jive. Common sense in politics don't jive.
Doesn't seem to.
No, it doesn't. It's too simple, and that's why politicians want to straddle the fence so they can go left or right, up or down, and just like you said, the simple response would be, but they don't want to do that, and that's why it's always so confusing to the average person that wants to use common sense with either politics or government.
Well, yeah, common sense is not so common. I mean, again, this is nothing. And listen here, but here's a big tragedy here. This is only news to us. It is not news to the city council. Okay, it's only news to us now that it's out. WSFA, thank them, and 1819 News. Okay, now that it's out, then there must be repercussions. There must be somebody must satisfy this issue. But listen, there are people on the city council already knew this was going on, which tells me a lot about them that I don't like.
Well, I mean, that's the way they roll, Mayor, and that's why, when we finally find out about something, they've known about it for a long, long time. The deal has already been done. I mean, you can go back through history, whether it's this mayor and city council or others, you can go back. They are always doing the deed, making deals, patting each other on the back, drinking a glass of whiskey, smoking a cigar. All that stuff is done before we ever find out about it.
Mm.
I mean, it's just like the Red Water Park down there. The rich lady and her daughter goes to the strange mayor's office, and he doesn't want to do it, so he sends her over to the county, to Elton Dean, and the deed is done.
Well, that's political negotiation. I don't have a problem with that. That's political. I mean, listen, that's what you do. You compromise, you sell it, you try to sell it. That's where our system rolls.
You can call it political negotiation, but it's called rich folks' power. That's what it's called.
Well, poor folks ain't got no power.
the the average folks, the poor folks,
Yeah.
and all those in between, they don't have any power. I mean, it's just like
But it
with-
ain't, wait a
when
minute,
they
it
had
ain't their
those.
fault. It ain't their fault. We all broke with no power.
No, but it's just like talking about guns. If they took away all the guns tomorrow,
Well,
guess
somebody
who would
still,
have guns?
somebody would still have a gun. That's true.
Guess who would have guns, Mayor?
Well, the people with the power.
The people, the rich folks, and the criminals
Yeah.
would have guns. Just like with prohibition, the rich folks had alcohol, the criminals had alcohol, and the poor folks had to make their own.
Well, you know, but we figured out a way around it. We made our own.
And there'll be another way figured out around it if you take up all the guns. But hey, I got a trivia question for you this morning.
Yes.
See if you can hit on it.
Mhm.
There's a city in Alabama. Aretha Franklin recorded at this studio in this town. B.B. King recorded at this studio in this town. And even the Rolling Stones recorded at this studio in this town in Alabama. Do you know which town it is?
Out on the coast, isn't it on the coast someplace? Or was it in?
No,
Was it in Montgomery?
no, it was in North Alabama in Muscle Shoals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
There was.
Yeah. I knew that. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know.
Well, you were thinking about water. You were thinking about
Yeah.
water in the shoal, so you were
I'm close.
you were heading that way.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was Muscle Shoals, Alabama, up in North Alabama, and musicians came there from all over the country and the world to record in this little recording studio for some reason. But it was a one of those things that you just wouldn't think about, but there's something connected to that now. Now they're getting ready to build a plant, and that plant is going to be worth $2.4 billion. And that plant is going to be partnered with the U.S. Navy to produce submarine equipment. And they're going to send the parts down the waterway from North Alabama all the way down to Mobile. And the moral of this story is, see, it's never too late to change from one thing to another to get industry to come to your area.
Okay. Well,
But
I mean, well, we do want industry, right? We do want.
yeah, we want industry. Exactly. But industries are going to go where they feel safe,
Right.
where they feel invited, where they got good schools. That's where they're going to go.
Well,
Because we got a waterway. We got a waterway right here in Montgomery, the Alabama River, and it goes down, and you can get on it and take it all the way down to Mobile.
Well, you know, it is what it is. But now let me tell you the one thing that a lot of people are concerned about that I'm concerned about too, and that's these power plants that we're putting up for Meta. And I forgot exactly what they call these things. They're putting all these, and they got one. They're building one in Montgomery, I believe, out in Hope Hall or somewhere. And I believe that we, the people, are going to be responsible at the end of the day for the uptick and power that they either creating or using, and we're going to be paying. And I'm worried about the health concerns with all that power in all these communities. Something about this just doesn't sit right with me. And I forgot what they call these things, but Meta, Microsoft, and all these people are building all these power plants in a Poe neighborhood. They even put one out there in Wren Lakes. You know.
Well, they're also putting those solar panels And all the people down there around Hope Hall in that area said, "Oh, wait, not so fast. We've done some research and seen that's not a very good thing." But anyway, they're putting up the solar panels too. But old Elon, he said that he can build a device to get us enough energy that we wouldn't have to be doing that stuff. But anyway, just something to think about, Mayor.
Just something to think about. But
just remember, politicians nor the government like things simple. They don't like common sense. It gives them a rash. They break out in hives when they see it.
Well,
have a good day, mate.
You too. But again, yeah, I'm more concerned about the power things than I am, and there is another issue that has come up with one of our politicians that I don't really know what I think about this, but I don't think it's the same issue as Marche has. I don't think it's the same issue. I think that she is a little bit different than this other thing. One of the complaints, and I don't know if it's a legitimate complaint or not. Dan Harris, which is on the county commission, evidently has had some medical problems. I don't know exactly what they are, but he is not able to partake in a personal session inside the commission chambers. But he does participate in the process by Zoom or whatever mechanism that are available to him. And I really don't have a problem with that. He's been a little ill, but he has been participating in the process. And to tell you the truth, whether you say yay, I go for that from the House, or you say yay, I go for that from the comfort of your living room. I mean, we got people we do have people getting paid to work from home, and so this is just one of those things where I don't really have a problem. I think you can still represent your people as long as you are intellectually okay. Because you may can walk well, but if you cannot understand what's going on because you have a mental issue, then that's a whole different story. But it seems that Dan is doing a good job of representing his people. From what vantage point, that's up to him. But he seems, matter of fact, he was at a college thing the other night. So there's some people complaining about him. I'm glad to know that he's actually participating in the process via Zoom. And if you don't know what Zoom is just like StreamYard. It allows you to partake in conversations, video and audio, just like you were there. So, and that's what people were doing when the COVID thing came out. Nobody wanted to be in the same room with anybody, so everybody got this Zoom situation set up so they could work out their problems and not have to be in the presence of anybody, and therefore not necessarily putting themselves in harm's way. So the Zoom thing is cool. I just want y'all to know that. I mean, I know that Mr. Boyd put something online about this, but you know what? I think we're good. I think as long as he can participate, as long as he is mentally capable of making the decision about yay or nay, then that's representation. That's representation. And he hasn't moved out. He hasn't moved out of his district. I mean, he still lives where he lives, wherever that is. I don't have a clue, and I don't think he wants me to know. But so I think that's not the same as the issue with Marche Johnson. Marche Johnson just moved out and didn't tell nobody. Although there are people on the city council who knew this, and shame on them for not talking to her or getting her to move back or something. So basically they were conspirators with her, the ones who knew. And I don't care. Listen, is there anybody that believes that nobody on the city council knew that she moved out of her district? I mean, look me straight in the eye. I didn't think so. Is there anybody that believes that she didn't know? They didn't know. There was nobody down there that knew that she had moved. Look me dead in the eye and tell me nobody on the city council knew that. Okay, I didn't think so. All right then, move right along to other things. Okay, other things. Yeah, Tuberville situation no different than Marche. And again, I listen. Again, I don't have any say on Tuberville and Richard. And to be quite honest, the only thing that makes Marche's thing a little different, because when you use a VA loan to buy a home, it must be your domicile. It must be your place of residence. So you can't say, oh, well, I got a house here, I got a house there, and therefore I live with this one sometimes, but that's my domicile is over there. When the VA gives you a loan, that's go to your main house. And my understanding, there's a tax exemption on the house that she's in now, which also goes to your main thing. Rich people, listen, they can have many houses if they want to. I mean, they can have many houses they want to. I don't know where they're. I mean, they may be there, they may not be there. I don't know. Karen moved and didn't tell. I don't. Yeah, but I'm not in public office. I don't have to tell anybody anything. I'm not in public office. I don't have to tell you where I live. Although I know people know already. But I didn't. I'm not. Again, we try to divert the attention from the real issue. And the real issue here is that, did she move from her? Is she a resident of District 3? The house is not. Now that's one thing we know. The house is not. And if she lives there, then they're not either. Tuberville's been voting in Florida. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he's been voting in Florida or not. Okay. And again, I'm more worried about the people who represent me directly. Okay, that I'm the government that I'm closest to, and of course, and that government would be the city council, the board of education, the things that county commission, that's closest to us. Okay, nobody. I would say Tuberville don't know me, but he actually does. But he probably forgot me by now. That's I'm nobody. I'm nothing but a roach in a corner. Okay. All the people they meet doing their thing. I mean, I'm just one of those, but the city council, I know all of them. Okay. And again, so the question is today, the question for the city council before them today, do they remove Ms. Johnson from that seat? Do they remove her? That's the question. If they don't, then what are they telling everybody else? Then we might as well shut our mouths and not worry about where somebody lives. I mean, you can live in Auburn and evidently and still represent Montgomery, as long as you come to the meetings, I guess. I don't know. So the question is, what is the city council going to do this afternoon? Okay, people, until you take on the responsibility of the public, you don't owe the public no information. I mean, you don't owe anybody information. You are a private citizen. But when you start taking the government check, okay, from the government to do a specific job, and that job is to represent a certain group of people, but the law says you must live within that group of people. This is very simple. This is not rocket scientists. I don't need to go to Huntsville and get any answers. I don't have to call Elon Musk and his smart people out there to get an answer. I can figure this one out for myself. Okay, this is an easy one. I can figure this out. If you don't live in the district, then you don't get to represent it. I mean, can it get any simpler than that? Seriously? Can it get any simpler than that? I just don't know. And it's got nothing to do with her. If this was Willie Durham, and Willie Durham, my first sergeant, if he did this, I'd be on him like a dog on a bone. Okay? And I respect him immensely. So it's got nothing to do with personally. If it was the mayor, well, okay, the mayor can't move out, so the mayor can move any place in the city he wants to because he's the mayor. But if it was anybody else, Pruitt, my good friend Pruitt, if Pruitt moved, okay, I'd be on him. Okay, so this not personal to me, you know. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, but Act 618, it's pretty clear about this. Okay, it's pretty clear. You know, somebody said Marche got caught red-handed, so to speak. But again, Marche is not really the issue here. Marche is not the issue here. The issue is the city council and the people who conspired to keep this a secret. And they've done a good job, because had it not been for 1819 News, we wouldn't have known. Okay? So that's the biggest issue is the city council and not Marche, because they knew and they allowed it to persist. They kept it up. They didn't tell her. I mean, they should have counseled her and said, listen, you know, if you move, you know, and she moved, I guess, a while ago. So it's the city council that is disappointing here, and not necessarily her. Okay, not necessarily her. I mean, she's responsible, but listen, the rest of the city council conspired to let this go on for a while. Again, it's not personal. Okay. Somebody said if Tommy lived in Florida, he would have run for the governor there and probably won. He probably would have. And you know, the thing about Tommy Tuberville, that he and okay, let me see. Yes, sir.
Sergeant Elkins.
Yes.
I just want to address one thing that you keep alluding to.
Okay.
The VA loan portion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are people that obtain a VA loan and don't live in that as their primary residence. You do know that.
I thought that was part of my understanding. Legally, that's part of the deal on the VA loan. It must be your main your main domicile. That's what I'm hearing.
It could start off that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I bought a home with a VA loan.
Okay.
Lived there for a while. Let's say the interest rate is 3%. 3%. And I'm in the Air Force. I bought a house in Prattville.
Mm-hmm.
VA loan, 3% interest rate. I get orders to Virginia.
Right.
I want to keep my house in Prattville and rent it out.
Okay.
Because the interest rate was so low.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm renting my VA loan
mm-hmm.
house in Prattville, and I moved to Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm no longer living in that VA loan house in Prattville. It was my primary domicile at one point, but it's not anymore.
Are you still taking the exemption, the tax exemption, because it's your residence?
I still can write that off as interest on the home. I can write the interest off on my mortgage,
okay.
But I'm stationed in Virginia now.
Right.
I'm living in Virginia. I'm renting my home in Prattville out, and it's a VA loan at an excellent rate of interest at 3%.
But you do know,
so it's not my primary residence.
But you do know the military are given certain privileges that other people don't have.
And so I just want to go to your original point, is that it could start off as my primary residence. It may not continue as that, is my point. Okay. Even in Montgomery, a veteran buys a home in VA and it's his primary residence, and they relocate to Pike Road or relocate to Auburn, and they had a great interest rate. I'm keeping that as investment property. It may be an Airbnb because it's a 3% interest rate. I'm saying don't get hung up on a VA loan being your primary residence. It may start off that way. It may not continue that way, is my point.
Okay. But if it doesn't, then you don't. For these purposes, though, for these purposes of representation, for the purposes of representation, you must live within the district.
I could. I mean, let's say, for example, my mother lives District 6.
Mm-hmm.
That's my home house. That's where I was raised at.
Right.
I bought a house in Pike Road and I lived there, but hey, I'm renting that house out. I'm moving back in with Mom. Now, my primary residence is with my mother in District 6, even though I own a house in Pike Road and I'm renting it out. So you can have a VA loan as your residence that started out, but I may move back in with Mom. So my primary residence is my mother in District 6. I own a house in Pike Road. I'm renting that house out in Pike Road. I got a VA loan in Pike Road, but I moved back in with my mom in District 6. Can I run for office in District 6?
You know, I wouldn't think that you could, because
Why not?
Because living in, that's a temporary residence for you.
No, I'm living with her. I mean, I'm
Yes,
renting
sir.
my house out in Pike Road. I'm not a temporary residence. That's where I'm residing.
Well, then
I mean,
yeah, okay, I'm not smart enough to handle that one, because I think, I don't know what a court would say, you know. But if somebody else is living in that house, now that's a whole different.
No, I intended to live there because that was my residence for a while, but people's situation changed, is my point. I think people get bogged down in the details. Your VA loan was my intent to live there.
Right.
I bought it. I lived there for a while. The interest rate is 3%. Now the interest rate is 6 and 7%. I'm not selling my home. I'm making a huge amount of a profit on it. I'm renting it out to the military. But so my VA loan was my intended purpose was to reside there. It doesn't say I have to always reside there. There's people all throughout this country have VA loans.
Yeah, right.
And you say the military has special exemptions. It's not special exemptions. There are people here in Montgomery that bought houses with VA loans that have relocated and renting those homes out.
Okay, but now if you, again, and I'm just trying to figure, because there's too much confusion around this thing, because if you taking the homestead exemption on that means it is your primary domicile.
Now you're getting into the details, because we got a guy in the White House.
What details matter? I ain't talking the White House.
It matters. It matters to certain people when we want it to matter.
Yeah, I ain't talking the White
It matters
House.
to certain people when we want it to matter. If this guy's against mail-in voting, but he votes mail-in voters from Florida when he's right there in town. Details matter to people
No,
when
we
we
do
want
that
it
here
to
in
matter. Is my
Montgomery.
only point.
We do that in Montgomery.
Yeah, but what I'm telling you is that I'm not saying what Ms. Johnson did was right or wrong. I'm saying let's not get hung up on the VA loan and that's fraud, because I can buy a house with a VA loan with my intended purpose to reside there.
Okay, well, so will you at least agree she does not live in the district, and therefore, house or no house, therefore she is
Kevin, I don't know where she lives. She may own a home. I don't know where she lives. I don't know where she put her head on her pillow every night. I don't know that. I know we got a document that says she owns a property somewhere else, but my mother could have a house in Brookview, and I'm moving into that house, and I'm renting I don't know where she lives, but I'm just telling you, let's not get bogged down and saying because people have a VA loan, that may be their intended purpose to reside there. Okay. But I may rent that home out and move into my mother's home house in where she lives in Woodley Park. And I may decide to move into Woodley Park and run for District 6. And you may say, Willie got a house in Pike Road. Well, I do. I'm renting it out, but now I'm living with Mama in District 6. And my mail goes to District 6. My driver's license goes to District 6. I have registered to vote in District 6 because that's where I reside. I'm just giving you an option, my friend.
Okay. So what we need then is to strictly clarify what residency means when it comes to representation.
Yeah, when we want to. We don't want to declare for Thomasville that got a house in Florida that voted enrolled. Show your taxes. We wanted to apply to people we identify with. But with other people, we said, I don't want to get in big folk fight because that's not and again, I'm not saying either way what Ms. Johnson did. I'm just saying don't get bogged down on VA loan is what I heard you hyping on.
I will take it for granted you're a wiser man than I am on certain issues. So let's just take that for okay, you're right. But if you don't live within the district like the law says, then you do not represent me.
Well, again, if you want to just split hairs, I'm going to move in my mother's house in the district, and I'm changing my address to that. I'm changing my driver's license to that. I'm going to move in there, and that is my residence.
Then you're in District 6.
Yeah. But don't get bogged down that I got a VA home in Pike Road.
Okay, but you have to agree if she does not live within.
I'm not dealing with that. I'm just saying the VA loan purpose, sir. I got plenty of people insured with VA loans throughout this state.
Right.
And they're not laying their head on that pillow in that VA home loan.
And I understand that. But my issue is that can you be represented by somebody that the law says you don't represent because you don't live within the district?
That's for other people that are a lot smarter than me to decide. I'm just saying, don't get bogged down in the VA loan, my brother.
Okay. All right, Dow. Okay. Still didn't justify the move. But I tell you to say, I mean, you can buy a house. You can buy a house and rent the house out to somebody else, and I guess you don't necessarily have to live there. But for political reasons, for representation, you can't say I represent District 3 even though I live in District 7, unless you can show me that you have another residence someplace. Now if you still had a residence in District 3, then I think it's plausible that you can lay your head there more often than not and still claim that as a residence. But when you move lock, stock, and barrel out of the district, then how can you claim to represent people that you no longer share the geographical location with? That's my only problem. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, just because you buy a house, okay, you buy a house with VA, and you're right. You don't have to necessarily live in it. That's good. But anyway, I don't have a problem with that. The problem is, though, then if that's the case, well, why not make it known? Okay. And again, I'm more concerned about the behavior of the city council than I am the behavior of her. I mean, she may not honestly knew that she lived outside the district, but I doubt that very seriously. But she's not a dumb woman. So again, at what point do we look in the mirror and say, yeah, I kind of stepped on it? Like my 401k, that I never put any money in because I didn't realize that I could. Okay, well, I'm supposed to be smart enough to be able to read. And so I have to look in the mirror every day and say, 24 years working at Cumulus, I didn't put $5 in the thing because I thought that it was for rich people. You know what? I thought it was for managers. I didn't know it was for regular people like me. I didn't work because I wasn't making enough money to share it, but I could have put a little something in there every month. And I never did because I just let it go. So sometimes we just got to look in the mirror and say, hey, it's on me. It's on me. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes when there's nobody to blame. And there's nobody to blame in this situation but Marsha Johnson, along with the city council, for not counseling her, that maybe you should give up that seat because you don't live, regardless whether it's a VA loan, a HUD loan, a HUD loan, whatever. Who cares about who loaned the money for the house? The question is, does that house reside within District 3 of the city of Montgomery in the state of Alabama, as they have been declared recently, what our district lines are? And she does not live in District 3. She does not represent me. I have no representation in this city right now in the city council because the woman who lived there now lives in District 7. So that's still the point. The main point here is, can we be represented by somebody? The law says no. If you move outside, now, can she show me a house that she still has in District 3? Does she own a house? Does she own any real estate in District 3? Hell, I'd accept that. I'd accept that and shut up. Does she own any real estate in District 3? That's all I need to know. I will, because I think if you own real estate in District 3, you have a vested interest in District 3. But if you don't own any real estate in District 3, then you have no vested interest in District 3. So therefore, you cannot common sense being employed here, you cannot represent people you don't live with. You don't know. So that's my only thing. Again, it's not personal, but it's the city council neck is on for this one. And the mayor said, all the mayor did, your fellow Mac. Yeah. Well, no, and I guess it's when you get my oh, hey, well, good morning, my good friends at the barber shop over there. We appreciate you. I know my man back there in the corner right now. He's probably calling me all kind of names, but I love you, brother. I still do. You don't live in District 3, do you? I don't think you do. Okay, good. I don't have to run in you at the store or anything like that. But anyway, Boo Man, what's going on? Hey, let's ladies and gentlemen, if you need a if you need a haircut, seriously, whether you're in the military or whether you are just a regular Joe, these guys over there, that is a fantastic barbershop, and I don't even think we need to call it the barber spa. I mean, you go in there, it's like the country club out there on Narrow Lane. That's where we go to have long talks, man-to-man talks about culture, talks about life. We pass out information, although they don't listen to mine too much because I voted for Trump. But other than that, we talk about all kinds of things over there at the barbershop, and those guys are fantastic. So if you're in the military, you need to get a haircut. You don't feel like putting that bowl on top of your head that they do down there on base. You want to go into an atmosphere that is absolutely outstanding. I mean, young men they're right across the street from the college, from Alabama State University, and you get some interesting people that show up in there. I'm just telling you, people with brains. And so, man, Boo Man, what is the name? Is it Heritage? Is it Heritage Barbershop? Is that what it is? I just know you and the people that are in there. I don't really know what the name is of the barbershop actually, but you can't miss it right across from Alabama State. That's not Carter Hill Road. Is that Carter Hill Road? I think it is. Well, it's one of them roads anyway. You can't miss them over there. Own and reside is different, my friend. Well, that's true. Own or reside is different. So now, that's an interesting point because you can reside in a number of places without owning it, and that's for sure. Like me, that's true. That is absolutely true. What does the Constitution say? Does it say reside or does it say own? It probably says reside. Come to think about it, that would make more sense because everybody don't own a home. Well, let's just say it says reside. Does she reside in any place that's within the geographical parameters of District 3? No. She used to, but no. So I mean, we're trying to find a way out of this for her, but this is going to be a hard one to get out of. That's right. It's Heritage Barbershop over there on Carter Hill Road. Anyway, go over there and get your haircut. Okay. And they do a great job. I'm going to suggest to Boo that we start giving out free Coca-Colas when we come in there. Sprite for me when we come to get a haircut. Yeah. So while we're sitting there, we can quench our thirst and with these long conversations that we have in the barbershop sometimes. So we need to put like a Coke machine or something in there. Because I get when I go in there and have a conversation, then I personally would need to quench my thirst so I can keep it moving. So Boo Man, can we get some Cokes in there or something, hot chocolate or something in there, okay? And love the place, love the new place though. They have done marvelous things with Heritage Barbershop, which is really, really a nice place to go. Even though some of them don't like me because I'm a Trumpster, but that's okay. They don't put me out or anything. I mean, they be wanting me to leave, but they don't. Nobody's actually picked me up by the collar and threw me out yet. That's probably coming sooner or later. But just for so I'm honest here. He is not as smart as I thought he was, to tell you the truth. I thought intellectually, I thought he was a lot smarter than what he is. But there's a lot to be said about common sense. Common sense is not so common. But Trump is not as smart as I thought. I thought he was just playing them. I thought he was just acting crazy. I don't think he'd be acting sometimes. I think he'd be almost 80. So, I think when you get about that age, you kind of things begin to disappear from you. You know what I'm saying? some mental capacities and things of that nature. So I think him and I think Biden, we just saw Biden's, and I think we've seen moments with him. And again, that's just all part of the aging process. 80 don't make you young no more. I mean, like I got 10 years before I become 80. But I don't mind seeing 80. I got a friend of Mr. Cunningham. Mr. Cunningham almost 100. So I don't mind getting old. It's better than getting cold. Anyway, moving right on to other things. Oh, one more question. Let me get off her thing for a second. Again, we'll see what happens at city council meeting tonight. What happens? And the question is, can you represent District 3 if you don't live within District 3? Regardless of what your domicile is, regardless of where you live, whatever the case may be, can you, the law says you must live within that district, and as long as you are in office, you must live in that district. If you don't live in that district, then you must vacate the seat. And that's just it. That you must vacate the seat. That so and this is nothing new. Most of the people on city council knew this already, but they didn't say anything. Now, that's a bigger sin than what hers is. Okay? I mean, if I'm getting $30,000 a year, I'm holding on to it as long as I can too. But that the city council, and I'm going down there today because I want to see how this is handled. And one or two things are going to happen. Either they're going to show me, give me a historic event about under the same circumstances and tell us this is why we're going to let her stay, or we are going to vacate her seat. There is no middle ground here. Either let her keep it and give me the reason why, or let her see you later, and rerun for the seat. No, run against what's his name next year when they have the elections for city council in District 7. Okay, Szymanski. So run against Szymanski. Okay, and you have a good time of actually winning that. You have slipped in your memory before 80. You already have slipped in your memory before 80. Well, you may be right, but why do blacks need their own national anthem? I don't pay much attention to it. Only national anthem I understand is the one that's played at football games and at Dover Air Force Base when the bodies come home in the plane. I don't care about any other national anthem except that one. But people have a right to choose whatever they want to celebrate. They celebrate that with whatever they want to choose. That's between them and their own God and what they pledge allegiance to. I don't know. I knew why we had to have one at first. So don't make me be intellectually dishonest here. I know why we had to have one. I do. We weren't included in the first one. Hey, Steve. Father Time. Simpler Days.
Just call me by anything, but just call me. Anyway, when you go down to the city council tonight, mm-hmm. Don't take your readers with you. Mm-hmm. Take those glasses where you can see, because when they put those 3 P's up there, when they put the shells up there,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
and then you try to figure out which one is under which shell, mm-hmm. you're gonna need those good glasses that see from a distance.
Yeah, we may have to. You have to be right about that.
Because that's what they do. They try to pull the old Hoosker-Doo on you, mm-hmm. and you got to be watching them.
Now, Willie said something a few minutes ago that made sense, and I'm a guy that said logic and reason. He said to reside someplace is not the same as owning a place, but it still gives you the same address.
Well, he's exactly right. I mean, whether you're in the military or whether you're just an old common Joe, you can buy a house and because you like it, and one day you're gonna say, "I'm gonna retire there. That's gonna be my place." But right now, I got other things to do. But you buy the house,
Mhm.
but you don't reside there, and then you go take a job in California, you take one in Alaska, wherever, and you're working there. But you got that house that you bought, and when you gonna come back and live there when you retire?
Mm, mm. If you can
So
get
I mean
if
that.
you can get the people in there out. So,
Yeah, exactly. If you can get the homesteaders out that have decided to declare homestead and not move out of your house, but I think this thing. What about this, Mayor? If you're on a school board, if you're on any kind of board that affects Montgomery, shouldn't you live in Montgomery?
I guess at least within the county.
Well, if you're dealing with, especially with city business, if you're on one of these city boards that they put you on,
Right, city board, okay.
or the school board, then
But the school
you don't need to be living up at the lake. You don't need to be living in Elmore County or Talga County.
Mhm. But you should at least live in the county. You should at least be in this county. Absolutely.
And if you got kids in that school system, I think that they ought to put people that have got kids in that school system or recently graduated from that school system that have, just like you had some knowledge, you had working knowledge about that school system, because why?
Because I had 2 kids that went through it.
Exactly. And recently you had, and so you knew. You're not looking at it from a distance. You're not hearing it second and third hand. You saw it with your own eyes. And that's why I'm saying they need to put people like that on there, other than these people that don't have a clue. They just want to be on a board because they want it on their resume. It looks good to all their family and friends and associates. They're on this board. And that's what they do. They put people on there for that reason.
Well, I found that simpler days, I found out that most boards around here are absolutely useless.
Thank you very much.
You have no authority to do anything except look back there and look at your name on a piece of paper. But as far as making a difference, you really don't make one. So
exactly.
It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time.
Hey, you talk about Trump's age, and like I said, he may not be a very intelligent, but he's a wise guy. He's got street smarts. But if you pull up Trump on Johnny Carson on YouTube,
mm-hmm.
back from the 80s,
mm-hmm.
early 80s, and you watch him, he's the same Trump then that he is now.
Mm. Yeah, and I looked at, and I tell you somebody who was pretty sharp, and I got to say it. I hate to say it, but I got to say it. Biden, in his younger years, was a pretty sharp guy. I mean, he can't.
Yeah, exactly. Kamala, she called him out. She said you was trying to block black children from getting on a school bus back in your day when you were really sharp.
Yeah.
She called him out on it.
Yeah. And then she came in.
He couldn't claim that he didn't know what was going on or what time of the day it was. She nailed him right on the head.
Yeah.
But everybody held their nose and said, "Well, that was what was going on then."
And the state streets
but
in 1994 didn't help anybody either, because and again, I'm not blaming him, but if you were caught with a gun within 1 mile of a school, you live in the city. You within 1 mile of a school on every side of you, and
how can you not blame him, Mayor? He was the one that wrote the bill. He is the one, the architect of it.
I'm not blaming him for the people having the guns, but he made it where if you get caught with a gun within a mile of a school, you got an enhancement in your sentence. He ain't shooting anybody.
And he made it where there was $9 billion for new prison construction and 100,000 police officers to lock them up and put them in there.
And I heard,
So yeah,
and I heard something else the other day that the prison out here in Elmore County that was supposed to have 4,200 beds is going to have quite a bit more than 4,200 beds. Did you know anything about that?
I heard, yes, sir. I heard the same thing. And because when they started the plans on this prison a while back, they were looking at it for that number. Well, that number has increased. And now, just like these schools they build, and they got a trailer right at brand new school, and they got a trailer right beside it because they didn't guesstimate for the future. And it's already overcrowded when they open the doors. But you're exactly right.
Is that Park Crossing? I think that's.
There's a lot of them. Wow. There are a lot of them that got trailers sitting out beside them. The schools out at Pike Road, they got trailers out beside them.
All that money, and we got to put a trailer beside it.
All that education money in the state education budget, and we got to put trailers.
$10 billion budget. And they told
we ought to have
Yeah.
Yeah, we ought to have the smartest kids in the United States.
We ought to. And
have a good day, man.
I appreciate it. And they don't use all the money for education. You know, I got to take a 3-minute break. If you vote for Biden, there's a question about be asked about you if you voted. Well, you know, I didn't vote for Biden, but I just looked at some of his old videos, and he was sharp to the point. I mean, he just got old, and if we all live, we're blessed to get a little age on us. We all gonna get old. And then when you get old, things happen, I guess, you know. Anyway, we'll be right back after this 3-minute break. So don't go any place, okay? We'll be back. Okay, we're back. Good morning. Got a question to ask you guys this morning. This is off the subject. I'll let the city council deal with what they got to deal with. This is off the subject, but it's a question. I'm on Facebook yesterday, and I'm looking. I'm just looking and you can't believe anything. I'm getting to the point now that I'm almost tired of it because you can't believe anything. They're all. I tell you what. If Trump wants to leave a legacy, make it this one. If we find that you're lying on Facebook, on any part of the internet, we can put you in jail for fraud using electronic devices. Okay? Because if I buy one more of them games and they keep telling me that I can win money, all I got to do is download the game. So I keep I done downloaded about 10 of those games and I ain't want to die. So I'm just saying, they be lying. I mean, it ought to be against the law to lie like that. I'm just trying to make a living. They keep saying Cider Casino. Then they got a one called Tane Casino. And they got another one called Another Casino. And I be downloading them all. And I ain't won a dime yet. I mean, these guys on TV be making $800 and $900, just by downloading the game. So how come it ain't working for me? I'm just saying. Okay? I'm just wondering. So there ought to be a law that says you cannot lie on TV or else you'll be sued for something, for theft through electronic devices. Now, I done downloaded at least 10 of those games. Now, you think even the odds, let's say, 1 out of 10 ought to win something. I'm just saying, okay. I mean, they say, here's your phone. Download the game. There's your phone right there. Download. So I download the game. Okay. I got a game on here right now. I'm trying to win something. It keeps coming up. No win. You didn't win. You didn't win. You didn't win. But that ain't what they show me on TV. On TV, everybody. I mean, I'm sitting in a restaurant the other day, figured didn't have enough money, but I figured all I had to do was call the game people and I could pay them. So I ordered the food, and a little short. I said, can you hold on a second? The guy said, yeah, I got to download this game so I can pay for this dinner, and I'm telling you something. If I didn't have a couple extra dollars in the box in the car, I've been washing dishes or in jail. So I'm telling you guys, don't download the games. Okay. You don't win nothing. Okay. They be lying to a brother. You don't be winning jack off them games. Okay. Okay. Well, no, I didn't. I don't believe in online schools. When I did go to school, I went to school in a physical building. So I don't believe on them online schools. Okay. Okay. So I'm just saying. So anyway, so don't use your phone to download games thinking you're gonna pay for dinner. It ain't gonna happen. Okay, I'm just talking. Now, my second question of the morning. My second question in the morning. This morning is this one. Now I realize this is a little bit off subject, but I realize that traditions of the past are not necessarily done today. Okay, so when this question comes up, but the other day there was a video, and the brother took his girlfriend out to dinner, but his girlfriend thought she'd bring all of her friends, okay, about 5 of them, to dinner with them. And so they all got to ordering this and ordering that and ordering that. I mean, by the time they got done, the bill was about $700-800. They thought that he was paying for all of them. And my man looked at him and said, well, why the hell should I pay for all of you guys? And then his girlfriend says, well, that's the manly thing to do. And I'm hoping that he left her and them sitting right there in the restaurant with a bill to pay. Okay. Now it's okay to take the girl out to dinner. You know, that's cool. That's great. But when she brings her friends, what you need to do is get up and walk out before anybody orders anything. Because to take advantage of a young man that bad, okay, like his name is Chase Bank, you know, that's crazy. But would you do it? If your girl and you were going to dinner and she say, meet me at this restaurant, and you get at the restaurant and she got about 6 women with her, do you pay for everybody's dinner? Hell no. I wouldn't even want that many kids I got to pay dinner for, let alone somebody I don't know. I'm just saying. So y'all just be, what would you done? What would you have done? Would you have to pay for everybody's dinner? No, I would not. They be washing dishes back there. What's up, dude?
What's going on, Mr. Elk?
Not much.
What you to switch your days back to Monday now, man? What's up?
Well, man, I just take Fridays off.
No, you switched. You had dropped Monday one time.
Well, yeah,
you want a long weekend, right?
Yeah, well, there are too many things happen on the weekend. There are too many things happen on the weekend to take Mondays off. So I decided to do.
You said Monday was gonna make you a long weekend for you. Monday, being off on Monday.
I'll
Anyway,
Thursday afternoon. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I've been busy a couple days anyway. I just not tuned in when you're talking about this deal. I got one better than that one, Calvin.
Yeah, what you got?
This was a story happened in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
This guy met this girl online. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the first mistake right there, meeting folks online. He met this lady online, and they met up for the first time. Okay, and so he told her to pick a place in Atlanta because you know I'm not familiar with the city, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she picked a high scale eating place, boy, and
Well, she never been before.
Yeah, she probably never been there before herself. See? And so she invited 4 or 5 of her girlfriends.
Yeah.
Oh man, they ate high on the cow, the best steak, you know, and had all kind of lobsters and all of that. The bill came up to be about $2,000 or some dollars.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't order nothing but a salad. He told the waitress said, just bring my ticket for my salad. And he got up and walked out. The girls followed him outside. Almost wanted to jump on him.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, I thought you know, you're not a real man if you can't treat my friends. He said, no, you know, it's supposed to be you and I. Just you know what I mean, one-on-one dates. But you got these women nowadays expect that from men.
Mm-hmm.
They got another girl. Said that the guy asked that do you hit a guy up on the first date? She said no. So I give him about a month. Said what you expect out of a month? She said I want him to at least pick up one of my bills, pay my rent for me. I said how much? The guy said how much your rent is. Now this is in California.
Yeah.
How much your rent is? She said $39.5. He said $4,000 a month for a rent. He said yes. Said ain't no man paying that. She said if you don't pay it, said somebody else will. I said I ain't gonna worry about it. Those just my expectations. She said. Then they wonder why the brother man is going to the white girls.
Yeah. That's bad. Who pays $4,000?
White girl got
rent.
White girl pay the brother man rent every once in a while, because she got money like that.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You expect a man, time you meet a man, you want him to pay your damn bill.
And the first thing they say, if you say, "How about some of that bologna?" They say, well, I don't know.
But what I'm saying, she take that little patch of hair. She take that little patch of hair is what a man look for in a woman.
Yeah.
Alone, I don't look for a man. Don't want. You can get a patch of hair. You walk out there and trip over a patch of hair.
I just felt so bad for the young man. They making him feel less than a man because he don't want to buy her whole neighborhood dinner when he invited her out.
But they want you to buy them too nowadays. Calvin wants you to pay for the sex. Y'all in a relationship. She wants you to buy her and pay her bills.
Yeah. Well,
you buy women like that, Jeff?
Of course not.
Huh?
I beg first.
You think that patch of hair worth your whole paycheck?
No, not mine. No, not mine. But I'm just wondering what young men would do today. Do they do that? I mean, do they? Do you really?
Old men started it. These rappers started that mess about making it rain and all that crap.
Yeah.
These rappers started that. Now.
Yeah.
Then the old school guys, I heard a song the other day on Killer Villa show talking about, baby, if you had me, I pay all your bills. All you gotta do is you love me, and let me love you. I pay all your bills. You had to pay nothing. See, that's those kind of men like
Yeah.
you,
Well, they ain't that much. That ain't that much love out there for me.
Making it rain and making it thunder and all that crap. So y'all can try to do for these women.
Yeah,
see?
I hear you. Oh well.
Get your Mayberry, girl. You have supper on the table and everything.
Yeah,
at 5 o'clock.
some good greens on the table for you, and some cornbread and some.
And surprise,
Hey, listen,
and
let me ask you
surprise
something,
you a Christmas.
Wait, let me ask you, what is hot water cornbread? What is that?
Hot water cornbread.
Yeah.
It already ready to go. It already ready to go, I guess, and just put the hot water in it. And hell, I don't know.
Never mind then. See you later. You don't even know you're from the South. But somebody told me something the night about some hot water cornbread. So how do you make cornbread with hot water? But anyway, I don't know what it is. But anyway, so much of that. No. I have not run out of topics, but I thought I had to lighten the load, okay, for a second, because, we were too heavy there for a minute. I had to lighten the load a little. But I am wondering about, you take somebody out to dinner and they bring the whole family with them, like it's a family reunion and you about to pay for it. See, I said, let me go to the bathroom for a second. I'll be right back. And I would ask the waiter, where's the back door? Okay. And I'll be gone. Never to see her again. Never. Lessons of life today is this, just in case you haven't, you don't know what they are today. It's a very simple lesson of life today. And if you go to the Facebook page, you can always catch these things. Let me see now. Get that right there. Move that right there. It said the lesson of life today is this. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Again, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. That is a quote from Desmond Tutu. I think that's who that's from. And the word of the day, just in case you never heard this word, rigmarole. Okay, it means confused or meaningless talk. Rigmarole. Okay, which we do a lot of that in the world. There's a lot of rigmaroling going on. That's like rigmarole is like thingamajig. Okay, thingamajig is what you call something if you just can't, and that's a Southern something. I heard my mom say, she's from Mississippi. Give me that thingamajig over there. So I'm looking and say, well, what's a thingamajig? Well, a thingamajig is a thing she couldn't explain. Okay, so you look over there and see what you can't explain, and that's probably the thingamajig. Okay, I'm just telling you. So you had your class today in colloquialisms of the past South. Okay. The generation you were talking about. Yeah, well, that's true. They are. Yeah. They're too young for an old man. I'm not. I'm not even. Man, I wouldn't even think about that crap. I'm not. Ugh. But don't be bringing. So if I invite you to dinner, just bring yourself. And if I pay for that, we're doing pretty good. Okay, I can't be paying for the 5 and 6 and 7, 8 y'all. That ain't even gonna work. Okay, I'd rather go to the store and buy some TV dinners. At least I have a different meal every day. Anyway, so much for that. Where's the power outage when you need it? Well, I got other things to talk about. I really do. But I just wanted to lighten the load for a second. Don't forget the Issy City Council meeting tonight. And they are going to, what's going to be on the table, I think it's a new item, is the question of Marsha Johnson, whether or not she should retain that seat until this is all figured out. I don't know what there is to figure out, but figured out, or should her seat be immediately vacated in a new election? And if that election is going to take place, what they do has to be done tonight, so it can get on the ballot and all that stuff. If they don't now. Let's see if they turn around and be chickens. If they turn around and be chickens and don't do anything. And I still have no I still have no, since I live in District 3, I still have no representation because there's nobody on the board. There's nobody on the board that lives within District 3. There's nobody on the city council that lives in District 3. So I'll still be screwed. Then I'll have to come back, tomorrow and skewer them again. Okay, we'll see. Okay, but tonight on the drama for tonight, City of Montgomery is going to give $130,000 to refuse collection services for various departments. City of Montgomery, 6th Amendment to lease agreement with city, whatever that means. The Healthcare Authority of Baptist Health gives them $144,000. Community-based violence intervention. We're gonna still pay more money for violence, huh? For violent intervention programs that don't stop jack. Okay, then. Can we stop? We name these things like the Office of Violence Prevention. That's a bunch of crap. Name it something else. I won't ever say anything else about it again. Name it something else. Okay. You don't stop violence. The police don't even stop violence. All they do, and they got guns. All they do is respond to it. Okay. Old business. Hearing on a proposal ordinance rezoning one of the located a zone located approximately 1,000 feet north of North Atlanta Highway and approximately 700 feet of Weirds Ferry Road, whatever that means. I don't know. And it sounds boring, so I'm not even going to get into that one. Okay, not going to get into that one. Okay, I don't even know what that means. What does that mean? I don't have a clue. Okay, variances and things of that nature. I never had any money, so I have to worry about variances. Okay, see. Okay, now let me see what else. They're going to have prayer by Council Jenright or guests. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now, they really didn't mean that when they wrote that. I mean, we're trying to get there, but they really didn't mean that. So they need to make an amendment to the Pledge of Allegiance, and we need to put in there. Well, we're sorry about the people we left out. Okay, I'm just saying. So, City of Montgomery, $130,000 plus 2 option years, refuse collection and service. Yeah, I already gave you that one. Somebody was asking something about Dan Harris. Wishing him a speedy recovery. Is going to be 2 years. I think now he has not been able to attend the in-house meetings, but that's okay. That really is okay. As long as he can participate in the process, that's all that matters. As long as he can participate in the process, and he still lives within the district that he represents, that's not a problem. Okay, and so I'll have to agree to disagree on board. Because Boyd brought this up. Now, here is something right here that you guys may not know is coming. And I'm finna show it to you right now, so you can't whine when it happens, okay? You can't be whining when it happens. Say, well, I didn't know this was coming. Well, when I show it to you, you're going to understand what I'm talking about, okay? It's going to happen this weekend, okay? Now, don't act like you wasn't told, because you've been told, okay? I'm telling you right now, okay? Right now, I'm okay. Where's it at? There it is, right there. Okay, there it goes, right there. Okay, so this weekend, there will be checkpoints on the road. There will be checkpoints on the road, and they're going to be Montgomery Police Department is letting you know. So don't be riding around dirty. Dope in the car, guns all in the car. Well, I guess you can get away with carrying guns in the car, I guess, unless you're a felon or something like that. You ain't supposed to have one, which I don't agree with that. I don't agree just because you're a felon means they take your right away to protect yourself. That goes against the first law of nature, self-preservation. We need to do something about that. We need to. I don't think you need to be walking around with a long gun, but I think you ought to be. I think you should have the right to. Well, brother, I can't get to you. I can't get to you right now. We're going to talk about this for a second. Montgomery Police Department, public safety announcement on checkpoints. There will be checkpoints this weekend, 5, 6, and 7. And they'll be checking for proof of insurance, okay, drugs, and illegal firearms. And here is where the checkpoints are going to be. Where's Ferry Road, Rosa Parks Avenue, Fairview Avenue, Lower Wetumpka Road, Woodley Road, Carter Hill Road, and Mobile Highway. Stay safe, drive responsibly, and report suspicious behavior. So now they're being nice to you. I mean, they really are. They let you know that we're gonna be on that booty if you walking around dirty over this weekend. Okay, and I don't blame them. It's time to bring them back. I was against these things at first, totally against them. But the way these fools are acting these days, I need to know if you're out there riding dirty. Okay, I need to know it. Okay, so they're doing us a favor. So stay home or ride a bike. Okay, don't go out there. Don't be crying to mama. Mama, they caught me. Well, too bad about that. Daddy, they caught me. Too bad about that. So I'm just saying, you might want to stay home this weekend, and maybe we'll save some lives. Maybe somebody won't get shot or dead because we are out there doing crazy things. Lord have mercy, and don't let the rain. Don't make it a sunny day with no rain, and the weather is going to be great, and all of a sudden somebody's going to get shot. Somebody going to get shot. So anyway, I'm all good for this. So again, let me take one more. Where's Ferry Road, Rosa Parks, Fairview Avenue, Lower Wetumpka Road, Woodley Road, Carter Hill Road? They are going to have they're going to have roadblocks. Okay, so y'all need to make sure that you pay attention to that. Okay, because it's coming this weekend. It's coming. So at least they have told you. You have been warned. And if you don't pay attention to it, well, that's gonna be on you, brother. Because I don't have no bail money for anybody. Okay, so don't be calling me because I can't get you out of jail. Okay, I just can't do it. I just can't. I just can't get you out of jail. So if you're going, even Z, if you're going to jail, I can't get you. I can't help you, not even a little bit. All right, I'm just saying. 7 years. How many people is the checkpoints too late for? And you're right. You're absolutely right. But not doing anything is certainly not an answer. Not doing anything is certainly not an answer. I'm all right with them doing the checkpoint. I used to didn't like them at all. But the way people are acting these days, I can't. Listen, I can't be against them anymore. You go down the street and I just get shot for the hell of it. And you don't even have to be doing anything. You can just be riding in your car. A couple weeks ago, there was somebody on the bridge shooting at somebody. So I don't have a problem with it. Let's bring them on. When I changed my mind about it, bring them on. So, okay. Let me say good morning to Boo Man, Everett. See, you think he's got a Russian name, but he ain't Russian. Vladimir? Come on, man. Yeah, dude.
Okay, this checkpoint thing.
Yes.
Okay, I saw that earlier this morning.
Mm-hmm.
You notice anything about the checkpoint?
I sure do. And you know what? I noticed it, and I know where you're going, but guess what? That's where the trouble is. So you trying to tell me no other part of the city people do drugs and have stuff in the car? Again, most of the trouble is.
I'm just asking now.
I don't live over there.
I mean, you go out there to Wind Lakes area and all them areas out there, Calvin.
Ain't nobody shooting each other out there in Wind Lake.
I'm quite sure they riding dirty though.
But that's okay. There's no such thing as.
I know that, but you can't just single out one part of town.
Yeah, you can't. That's where the trouble is.
That's what they're doing, but hell,
that's where people getting shot and killed at. That's where people getting shot and killed at in these areas right here. Ain't nobody shooting nobody every day in Wind Lakes.
So what you're saying then? The good people that live in that area out there are doing all this shooting.
I'm telling you that
All these good,
the
all
trouble,
these good people,
the trouble.
all these good people.
Yeah,
So somebody got a little package in the car with them or whatever.
I don't care.
And they're good people.
I don't
and
care.
they're trying to make it back to the house and get caught.
Yeah, I don't
Huh?
care if they got a little package with them, and it's legal.
But
It's legal to carry
these same people got a little package. These same people got a little package over
But I
there.
don't care. It's
in
it's
the Back
there.
Row area, huh?
But who cares? They ain't shooting people.
Huh?
They ain't breaking into people's houses, and most of the time they
Yeah.
break into our houses.
Is that gonna stop people from shooting?
We may stop one. If we stop one that thought about shooting you, we
can roll back that stupid ass law too and stop one people.
Well, I'm with you, but the law is the law right now, and you have a right to carry a
But
gun.
but before you go, Cam, right quick, I want to say something. Somebody, it's a boring conversation. We need to have the conversation about these black women big, and the time they meet a man, want the man pay her damn bills and buy her sorry ass cat. Now, so we need to talk about this.
Okay, well,
we need to talk about this.
Okay, we can talk about that one day. But when I saw this list of people that were going to, I noticed the same thing he noticed. But I asked myself, why is it Wares Ferry Road, Rosa Parks, Fairview Avenue, Lower Wetumpka Road, Woodley Road, Carter Hill Road, and Mobile Highway? Because that's where most of the trouble is in this city, and it's in our communities. Okay, that's why. Nobody's shooting, nobody going with drive-bys out in the Winter Lakes, because the people in the Winter Lakes got more guns than you got. Okay, they ain't playing. Okay, so I got no problem with I got no problem with that. And I I hated this road. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that I'm partly responsible for stopping them a few years, about 20 years ago, because I was on the radio and I was against them stopping people trying to find somebody doing something wrong when you don't know if they're doing something wrong or not, but you're trying to find somebody. You're stopping everybody to find somebody that may be doing something. Well, yeah, I found a little constitutional issue with that, So, but now, nah. And if they can show to us by the numbers where most of the trouble in this city is, and we all know where it is. We all know where it is. We better not act like we don't know, else we lie and the truth ain't in us. We know who getting shot every weekend. We know. And sometimes we don't even wait till the weekend. Okay. Other day, three young men ran them down the road shooting at people. 3 of them. Okay. No, we're not sending everybody in Pike Road, but it is reasonable, okay, because the preponderance of gun violence is in the hood. So why in the world would I want to sit out there in Wind Lakes and do nothing when I possibly could have stopped somebody from dying that night if I had my cards in the right place? Don't blame the police or the police chief or the mayor. If our communities are allowing this violence, if your numbnut kids grow up to be thugs, then that ain't our problem. That's your problem. Okay. So yeah, I ain't mad at them. And I would imagine they got some crooks in Pike Road too. But often what we find is the crooks in Pike Road come over there from someplace else. So I'm just saying. Okay. So I'm just saying. So now, yeah, I noticed that. The first thing I did notice. I'm not insensitive to what I read, but I also asked myself, where is the crime? Okay, where are the people who had the preponderance of riding around without insurance in their car? Okay, and it ain't their fault. Sometimes they ain't got no money. Insurance is just too high. Sometimes you got to take a chance. I've done it. Sometimes when I was younger, you got to take a chance, drive, and hopefully you don't get caught. Poor people don't have the same that other people have. Okay. Woodley Road, Carter Hill Road, Mobile Highway. That's where most of these shootings and this criminal activity is going on. Okay. I'm not saying nothing happens on the east side, my friend. I'm just telling you the preponderance of crime is not done in East Montgomery. The preponderance, an overwhelming preponderance of it is done where you see they're going to have these roadblocks. Okay? I'm just telling you. That's the way it goes, bro. That's the way it goes. And we can let them get offended all we want to until somebody in our family gets shot and killed. Our kids get killed. Somebody break in your house. tear your stuff up, steal your air conditioner, and all that kind of stuff, then it's okay. Too late then. Maybe, just maybe, I'm not sure, but just maybe we can stop some of this crap. At least if we can't stop it all the time, we can stop it maybe one time. And somebody won't be back there trying to steal your air conditioner or steal the plumbing out of your house. So I got no problem with what they're doing. None whatsoever. They have my full support in this roadblock thing. Because I'm tired of people doing stupid things. And again, there's an acronym called Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot Oscar, FAFO. F around and find out. I'm good. I'm good. I used to fight it all the time, but I'm not gonna fight it anymore. Okay, they just these young kids just have no respect for themselves, and if they don't have any respect for themselves, they're certainly not gonna have any respect for you or me or anybody else. Okay? Used to be when a preacher came down the road, we shut up, stop cussing. When a woman came in our midst, we showed her the utmost respect. Now we show the utmost disrespect. Who changed it? Parents did, by not being parents. Anyway, my time's up. We thank you for yours. And we got, when is the 5th? Today is the 2nd. Oh yeah, so from Friday to let's say Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Yeah. Y'all might as well stay home the weekend and just watch football. Okay, there ain't no football on. Well, watch something. Watch wrestling or something, which is really fake. FAFO. That's right. Foxtrot Alpha, Foxtrot Oscar. Oh yeah. We're gonna say I'm gonna sit back and see who gets caught this weekend. We'll see, because the crooks are not listening to the news. They don't know this is coming. They don't know this is coming. But it's coming. See ya. I wouldn't want to be you.